Good afternoon, Scioto County 4-H family. My name is Josie Evans, and I am one of the 4-H educators in Scioto County. So if you guys can remember from my first video, we have set a new clutch of eggs into our incubator to work through that 21-day process. Today we are currently on day 8, which is actually one of my favorites because between day 7 and day 11 is a really good time period to candle your eggs and to see where you are within that stage of development. So what do I mean by candling eggs? So we're not actually going to use a candle, but you can use a really good flashlight, or your flashlight on your cell phone actually works fairly good as well. If you can go to a dark room and you can shine that light right on top of that egg, you can kind of see what's happening inside there and if there's any development that's taking place. So it's really cool. A lot of the time you can kind of see some veins that are starting to develop, and as that chick embryo is continuing its development, you can see where we are within that process. And you can also, we'll show you here in just a moment, but it's actually a good way to see how porous your eggs are. And so what do I mean by porous? And so that word means that our shell is able to allow air to come in and go back out of that shell. So why would we want that to happen? Well, that embryo still needs oxygen as it's developing. So there's an air cell, and if you remember from our previous video when we talked about the different parts of the egg, there should be an air pocket, that air cell that's inside that egg. And so when that air moves through that shell, through those pores, it's going into that air cell and then coming back out. So as that chick is developing, as we breathe, when it comes out, we're breathing out the carbon dioxide and we are absorbing the oxygen. So our chick embryo is doing the same thing. So that air is replacing itself and moving in and out of that shell. So if we come over here and we look at our chart, we can see what it should look like today. So today, down here, we are on day 8. And so this is where the upper and lower beak are equal in length, and the wings and the legs are easy to see, and the neck is becoming longer. So that's kind of the part of the development that we're in today. So now we're going to check out our incubator. We are currently it's at 97 degrees, and it actually is going to come back up because I just had it opened a few minutes ago. But before I had it opened, we were at 100 degrees, and our humidity is coming back up as well. But this air is going to fluctuate, or this temperature is going to fluctuate because I just had it opened a few minutes ago. So now we are going to candle a couple of our eggs. So with our first egg, so can we see that fairly well? Good. So we can see all of those little dots within that egg. So that's where our shell is porous. And so that's where the air is able to move in and to move out of that egg. And you can see this dark spot. Let me see if I can use 2 hands. So this part right here that's a little darker. Whoops, sorry. I'm not making this easy for you. So you can see that darker spot, that is where this yolk is. And let me see if we can angle it a little differently. Right here at the top, there's an air pocket. So this is where our air cell should be. It's a little difficult to see on this egg, but that's okay. All right, let's check out our next one. Can you stick your hand out and hold this flashlight for me? Thank you. Okay, now, so can we see, whoops, it's a little difficult to see. Here, you hold the phone. It may be a little difficult to see, but there's some striations that are right here by my pointer finger. And if you can see these little lines, I wish you could see it as good as I can see it, but on these little lines right here, there's some veining going on. So we can see the veins that are in this egg. So we can see the development that's taking place. And see that really dark spot? It's moving around just a little bit. That is that embryo. That is the chick embryo that's moving around. That dark spot that's swishing back and forth. That's the baby chick. So cool. I'm glad you guys can see. Perfect. So let's put this one down. Then we're going to go and we'll candle another one. So this one looks really cool. So you can see all of those little pores, and those pores are what allows that air to move in and out. This darker red spot, the darker circle, so this is where that yolk is. I don't see a lot of development going on, so maybe it's just hard for me to see, but I'm not completely sure that there's anything happening. But down here on the other end that's closest to the palm of my hand, it's very clear down there. And so that's the air cell that's right down here where my finger's tapping. So it's kind of hard for you guys to see that one. All right, let's check one more. Ooh. Looks like, back up just a little, might be a little better to see it. So there's some veining going on in here as well. You can kind of see those dark little lines that are right there. That is some veining. So it looks like we have some development, and you can see there's a dark spot that's closer to my hand. This is about where it looks like our embryo is. It's not, we can't see it near as good as we could in the other one, but you can see a little bit of movement. That could be the heart and the blood pumping through there. So it looks like we do have some chicks that are in the process of forming in this egg. So great, we have some embryos that are starting. And again, we are on day 8. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to close our incubator up. And I will check back with you guys here in a few days. So, see you later.